خلافتنا بمسرور فتية عظيم شأنها بين البرية.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new episode of Beacon of Guidance. This series will be a compilation of questions and answers given by our beloved Hazur, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper. The questions are from various virtual mulaqats and compile letters from MDs all over the world. Let's now turn to the United Kingdom for our first question. On the 4th of September 2021, beloved Hazur blessed Majlis Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya UK with a virtual mulaqat, where His Holiness was asked one proof of the truthfulness of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Let's take a look at the response.
My question is, if you were to give one unequivocal proof for the truthfulness of Ahmadiyya, what would it be?
You see, for different people you have different arguments. If a person who does not believe in the existence of Allah Ta'ala, we will first have to make him realize that God does exist. Right? A person who is a Muslim and have Muslim background, you will have to give him a different proof that these are the prophecies of the Holy Prophet ﷺ for this age and they have been fulfilled. And this was in the Holy Quran even, that the Mahdi and Messiah will come in the latter days. For a Christian, you will have a different answer. Make them realize that the person who was to come is not the same Messiah, Jesus Christ, who will descend from heaven, but it will come from among the Muslim Ummah. So there are so many different proofs, but we can say that the Holy Prophet ﷺ also prophesied one heavenly sign, and that was the eclipse of sun and moon. And that will be a sign of the advent of the promised Messiah ﷺ. This was a sign foretold by the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And that is what the people and the other Muslims and other people were waiting for. Right? And it occurred in 1894 in the Eastern Hemisphere. And it occurred in 1895 in Western Hemisphere. And the claim was already there of the Prophet Messiah al-Islam. So that shows that the person who was to come had been prophesied with so many signs given to us by the Holy Prophet ﷺ and even in the Quran. But there were some heavenly signs, and this is one of the heavenly signs. And this has been fulfilled. So after having seen that, even then if we do not believe, then we cannot force anybody to believe. This is not the sign which is the man-made sign. That was a heavenly sign. And it happened.
For our second question, beloved Hazur graced a virtual mulaqat in Urdu with National Amla members from Norway on the 5th of December 2021. One of the members had asked, how can we instill the love for the Holy Quran within people? Let's listen to Hazur's response.
हज़ूर वैसे तो अल्लाह ताला के फजल करम से अहमदियों की अक्सरियत जो है वो रोज़ाना तिलावत कुरान करीम की आदी है, लेकिन बाज़ अफराद ऐसे हैं जो थोड़े सुस्त हैं, तो उनके दिलों में कुरान करीम की मोहब्बत और शौक़ को कैसे मज़ीद उजागर किया जा सकता है ताकि 100% अहमदी जो हैं वो कुरान करीम की तिलावत की आदी ख़ुद भी हो जाएं और अपने बच्चों को भी कुरान करीम की तिलावत की आदत डालें।
बात यह है कि आपकी जो सेक्रेटरी साहब तरबियत हैं वो कहते हैं कि आपके 62% लोग जो हैं वो नमाज़ पढ़ते हैं। ठीक है, जो नमाज जो एक बुनियादी रुकन है वो नहीं अगर अदायगी कर रहे हैं उसकी, इसका मतलब उनके बच्चे भी नहीं पढ़ते होंगे, उनको देखा देखी, या अगर पढ़ते हैं लोग तो 5 नमाज़ों के बजाय 2 या 3 नमाज़ें पढ़ लेते हैं, उनके बच्चों पर यही असर होगा। अब किसी ने अतफाल में से किसी सवाल किया किसी बच्चे से, बच्चे दिन में कितनी नमाज़ें होती हैं इस्लाम में? उसने कहा 3। उन्होंने कहा तुम्हें किसने बताया? कहता मैंने तो अपने अब्बा को इतना ही पढ़ते देखा है। या मस्जिदों में जमातें जमा हो गई तो बच्चे को ख्याल हो गया कि शायद मस्जिदों में नमाज़ें मौसम के लिहाज से जमा हो जाती हैं, इसलिए 3 नमाज़ें ही होंगी। हालांकि ये तो इंतहाई सूरत में नमाज़ों का जमा होने की जो मौसमी हालात या वक्त के हालात हों उन दिनों में होता है। जब खुला मौसम होता है उन दिनों में 5 नमाज़ें अदा करनी चाहिए ताकि बच्चों की तरबियत सही हो। तो बात यह है कि जब बुनियादी चीज़ जो है नमाज है उसी की तरफ तवज्जो नहीं तो कुरान करीम तो फिर बाद में आती है ना बात। तो वो आपने मुसलसल तवज्जो दिलानी है, तवज्जो दिलाना ही आपका काम है। उनको कहना ही एक इससे तुम लोग कुरान करीम पढ़ोगे तो तुम्हें कुरानी अहकाम का भी पता लगेगा। यही मैं बार बार अपने खुतबात में तकरीरों में भी कहता रहता हूँ कि कुरान करीम पढ़ो, कुरानी अहकाम आपको पता लगो। अपनी मीटिंगों में भी ये बताता रहता हूँ अगर वो सुनते हो प्रोग्राम कि उसी से तुम लोगों को फिर पता लगेगा कि अल्लाह ताला ने क्या हुक्म दिए हुए हैं। तो अगर वही नहीं हम पढ़ रहे, एक बात जो आयतनामा हमारे सामने है उसी को हम पढ़ नहीं रहे तो हमें पता क्या लगेगा हमारे मकसद क्या हैं, हमारी फ़राइज़ क्या हैं, हमारी ड्यूटियाँ क्या हैं। तो ये तवज्जो दिलाना मुसलसल काम है हमारा, इसलिए सेक्रेटरी बनाया गया है तालीमुल कुरान। वो आप करते रहें, प्यार से समझाते रहें, तवज्जो दिलाते रहें, बार बार कहते रहें। और यही कुरान करीम का हुक्म है, ज़किर नसीहत करो, नसीहत करते चले जाओ। हैं दरोगा तो बनाया नहीं हमें हुआ, अल्लाह मियाँ ने कहा नसीहत करो और नसीहत करना ही हमारा फ़र्ज़ है, यही हमारा काम है। ठीक, थकना नहीं आपने, ये इरादा कर लें कि आपने थकना नहीं, किसी से मायूस नहीं होना। हमारा यही काम है, मुसलसल कोशिश 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 और करते जाओ कोशिश। ठीक है। और अपने साथ खुदामुल अहमदिया और अंसारुल्लाह की तंजीमें, लजना की तंजीमें, इनको भी तवज्जो दिलाएं कि वो भी अपने खुदाम को, अंसार को, लजना को कहते रहें। तो उससे जब सारे मिल के कोशिश करेंगे तो ये कंसोलिडेटेड कोशिश जो होगी इससे आपको नतीजे अच्छे बेहतर मिलेंगे।
For our third question, let's revisit a virtual mulaqat blessed by beloved Hazur with Atfal al-Ahmadiyya in Nigeria on the 8th of January 2022. At-Tifl asked Hazur what is the strongest argument that the Imam Mahdi has come. Let's listen to the response.
My question is, what is the strongest argument we can use to convince our non-Ahmadi friends that Imam Mahdi has come?
You see, quite a number of non-Ahmadis or Muslims believe that Messiah and Mahdi will come. And they are thinking that the same Messiah, the Jesus Christ, will come from the heaven. But Allah Ta'ala in Quran says, nobody can live forever. And whenever a person lives his life, he has to pass his life here on this earth. We believe that the Holy Prophet is the last prophet and he is the person who was the most loved by Allah Ta'ala in every respect, more than any other prophet. Yeah? So Allah Ta'ala loved him more than any other prophet. So if it was possible to take any person to heaven, it would have been the Holy Prophet ﷺ, not Jesus Christ. Right? The Holy Prophet himself, while explaining the verse of the Holy Quran, وَآخَرِينَ مِنْهُمْ لَمَّا يَهْلَكُوا بِهِمْ, that among the people of the latter days, the person will appear, or the people will be like you. So when the companion of the Holy Prophet ﷺ asked, who are those people? And who is that person who will appear in this world in the latter days? When the people asked 3 times, then he put his hand on the shoulder of Hazrat Salman Farsi and said that the person from among Salman Farsi will appear in the latter days. That means he will not be an Arab. The Mahdi and Messiah will appear from among these people. Apart from that, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that when the promised Messiah will claim that he is the promised Messiah and Mahdi, there will be a heavenly sign. And that heavenly sign is the eclipse of sun and moon on particular dates and days in the month of Ramadan. And he said that this sign has never happened before. So, according to the prophecy, the lunar and solar eclipse occurred during those days in 1894, when there was a claim of the promised Messiah already there in the Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere. And it is well documented in the newspaper that it happened. So these are the things which have happened. And there is no claim of any other promised Messiah. Jesus has not appeared, he has not come down, he has not descended from heaven. So there is only one man's claim. And the prophecies have also been fulfilled and are being fulfilled by Allah Ta'ala. So these are the things which compel us to believe that the promised Messiah, who claimed himself to be the promised Messiah, has appeared and is the right person. And now the Holy Prophet ﷺ also said that the promised Messiah and the Mahdi will appear in the 14th century. And now 14th century has passed. So, since there is only one person who claimed himself to be the person, and we are seeing that his community is flourishing day by day, so that shows that he is the right person. And the time has also passed, and no other person will come now. So you can only argue with them, but those who are very rigid and they don't want to believe in anything, they are very stubborn, then you cannot force them to believe. But there are quite a number of arguments, right? So you can read the maths literature and you will find more arguments. There are heavenly signs and worldly signs. And quite a number of them have been fulfilled.
It's now time for question number 4. On the 28th of August 2021, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, presided over a virtual mulaqat with Nasiratul Ahmadiyah from the UK. One of the members had asked, why is it that non-Ahmadis label Ahmadis as disbelievers? Let's listen to Hazur's response.
My question is, why do non-Ahmadi Muslims say that Ahmadis are disbelievers, even though we believe in the Shahada, follow the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam?
I think you better ask them. We are following, we believe in the same Prophet, we believe in the same book, the Holy Quran. We say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and all the teachings of Islam we practice. And we not only practice, we preach. And this is why hundreds and thousands of non-Muslims are accepting Islam through Ahmadiyyat. You can show your example. You can set your example before them. You tell them what I believe and what I practice. Then this is now your duty to preach and remove all their doubts. Okay?
Okay.
So now, you see, in Ghana, for instance, the early Ahmadis were from among Christians. Why did they accept Islam? Because they saw the beauties of Islam through Ahmadiyyat. So this is how you can preach that we are Muslims. The only difference is that you believe that the Messiah of the age, who was destined to come according to the prophecy of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, has not yet come. But we believe that has come in the person of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadian. And that is the only difference. And because of this, you say that we are not Muslims. And the other thing is that we believe that the promised Messiah, Islam, has the status of prophethood. Because the Holy Prophet ﷺ declared him as prophet in one of his traditions, not only one time, 4 times. Right? And they say that no other prophet can come after the Holy Prophet ﷺ. We also believe that no other prophet can come after the Holy Prophet ﷺ, but the prophet with new Sharia, with new law. But a subordinate prophet can come. And he was to come according to the prophecy of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And even in the Holy Quran it is written in Surah Jumu'ah that the prophet will come. So this is the difference. This is why they say we are not Muslims. They say, okay, you believe that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is the prophet, but you do not believe in the finality of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. We say we believe that he is the last of the prophets who brought Sharia. And the Holy Quran is the last book of Sharia. We believe that. We believe that there is no God apart from the one who sent the Holy Prophet ﷺ and all the previous prophets. And we believe that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is his prophet, final prophet, the last of the prophets. So, but the only difference is that we believe that the promised Messiah is the subordinate prophet, and we do not say it with our own interpretation. It was clearly, explicitly explained by the Holy Prophet ﷺ that the promised Messiah who is destined to come will be having the status of prophet. Okay? This is the difference. This is why they say we are not Muslims.
For the 5th question, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadallahu Ta'ala bin Nasr Aziz, blessed a virtual mulaqat in Urdu on the 21st of August 2021 with Majlis Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya, Germany. One of the members asked, what changes has Hazur felt due to COVID-19? Let's take a look.
मेरा सवाल है कि कुछ साइंटिस्ट कहते हैं कि कोरोना की वबा की वजह से इंसान की नफ्सियात वो नेगेटिव हो रही है, असर अंदाज हो रहा है. और मेरा सवाल है प्यारे हुजूर कि आपका इस बारे में क्या नज़रिया है और इससे आपकी ज़िंदगी में क्या तब्दीली आई है?
मेरी में तो कोई तब्दीली नहीं आई. साइंटिस्ट कहते हैं, वो साइंटिस्ट इसलिए कहते हैं कि जो लोग दुनियादार हैं, वो दुनियादारी की सोच रखने वाले, जिनका क्लबों में जाए बगैर गुजारा नहीं है, जिनका शराब कट्ठे पैसे पिए बगैर गुजारा नहीं है, जिनका हाव हू किए बगैर, नाच गाने किए बगैर गुजारा नहीं है, उन पे जो पाबंदियाँ लगी हैं तो वो परेशान हो गए. वैसे भी कोई भी बीमारी जब आती है और जब उसको इतना ज़्यादा उसी पैमाने पर फैल जाती है, पेंडेमिक हो जाती है और सारी दुनिया उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो जाती है, एक नफ्सियाती असर ये पड़ता है कि पता नहीं हम बचेंगे कि नहीं बचेंगे. मगर अगर ये इंसान को ये पता हो कि ज़िंदगी और मौत अल्लाह ताला के हाथ में है और जो एहतियाती तदाबीर अल्लाह ताला ने कही हुई हैं उनको इख्तियार करना चाहिए, जो मुयस्सर इलाज हैं वो करने चाहिए, तो फिर दुनिया की बाज़ चीज़ें ना मिलने की वजह से, बाज़ एक्टिविटीज़ ना होने की वजह से, या बाज़ जो रूटीन है उसकी तब्दील होने की वजह से एक मामूली परेशानी तो होती है, लेकिन इतना ज़्यादा परेशान होने की ज़रूरत नहीं. अल्लाह ताला से दुआ करनी चाहिए कि अल्लाह ताला हालात जल्द बदले और अल्लाह ताला की तरफ रुजू करें. अगर दुनिया वाले तो ये जो डिप्रेशन वाली बीमारी है अगर किसी को है इस पेंडेमिक की वजह से, वो भी दूर हो जाएगी. अल्लाह ताला कहता है अला बिज़िक्रिल्लाह तत्मइनुल कुलूब, कि अल्लाह ताला के ज़िक्र से दिनों को इत्मीनान मिलता है. तो इसमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अल्लाह की तरफ रुजू करना चाहिए, लेकिन दुनियादार इस तरफ रुजू नहीं करते, इसलिए वो ज़्यादा मुतासर होते जाते हैं. बाकी जहाँ तक मेरी रूटीन का सवाल है, मेरी सवाल है कि मुलाकातें बंद हो गई जो आमने सामने हुआ करती थीं. इसके अलावा तो मेरी रूटीन में कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ा. मुझे तो सुबह से लेकर शाम तक काम के बाद फुर्सत ही नहीं मिलती. मुझे पता नहीं लगता पेंडेमिक बाहर फैला भी हुआ कि नहीं है. और वो जो थोड़ी बहुत कमी थी मुलाकातों की, वो इस तरह वर्चुअल मुलाकातों से तुम लोगों से करके मैं पूरी कर लेता हूँ, हैं, कम से कम हफ्ते में 2 दिन तो इस तरह गुजर जाते हैं। बाकी मसरूफियत होती है, फिर दफ्तरी मुलाकातें भी चल रही होती हैं मेरी, बाकी ख़तों किताब भी चल रही होती है, डाक भी चल रही होती है, ये सब सिस्टम चल रहा है अल्लाह के फजल से। जमात अहमदिया के इतनी दुनिया में फैली हुई है, उसके कामों को देखना, निगरानी करना, वो वक्त का पता ही नहीं लगता किस तरह गुजर गया, बल्कि वक्त तो थोड़ा लगता है और काम ज़्यादा लगता है।
मेरा सवाल है आपसे, आपको अपनी मसरूफियत मुश्किल लगते हैं?
ज़ाहिर है काम जो है अगर सही तरह करना हो तो काम तो मुश्किल होता ही है, लेकिन अल्लाह ताला उसको आसान कर देता है और काम हो जाता है। तकरीबन रोज़ का रोज़ काम मैं निकाल ही लेता हूँ। बाकी फिर भी फ़िक्र ये रहती है कि जो हक़ है काम करने का अदा हो जाए, अगर नहीं अदा हुआ तो कहीं अल्लाह ताला की नाराज़गी ना हो, तो इस लिहाज से मुश्किल होती है। ठीक है, बाकी काम तो हर काम अगर संजीदगी से आदमी ने करना है तो मुश्किल ही होता है, उसको मेहनत करनी पड़ती है।
We'll now start the second segment of the program. In this segment, we'll be taking a look at questions and answers which have been taken from an article in Al-Hakam called Answers to Everyday Issues, which is guidance that Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, has given on various occasions in his written correspondence and during MTA programs. For our first letter, Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz was asked who Gog and Magog were. Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, in a letter dated the 14th of January 2020, gave the following reply.
Dajjal, the Antichrist, Gog and Magog are specially mentioned among the afflictions and tribulations that Islam was to endure in the latter days. Indeed, all of them are various manifestations of the same trial. Dajjal is the name of the religious aspect of that trial, which means that that group will corrupt the religious beliefs and views of the people in the latter days. The group that would destabilize the state of political affairs and destroy the political peace and order has been referred to as Gog and Magog. What is meant by both of these groups is the worldly power and the religious facet of the Western Christian nations. However, Allah the Exalted has also informed us through His beloved Prophet ﷺ that when the trials of Dajjal and Gog and Magog would arise and Islam would have weakened, He would appoint the promised Messiah to safeguard Islam. Muslims would not enjoy material power at that time, but the Jemaat of the promised Messiah ﷺ would relentlessly work with prayers and preaching, thanks to which Allah the Exalted Himself will destroy those evils.
For the second letter, Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, was asked why the Holy Quran had used the word istafaq, He has chosen you, for Hazrat Maryam, since she was a woman and not a prophet. Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, in a letter dated the 14th of January 2020, gave the following reply.
As far as the usage of the word istafaki, I have chosen you by the Holy Quran for Hazrat Maryam is concerned, the Holy Quran and the Ahadith show that this word has not only been used for prophets, but also for other people chosen to carry out any extraordinary or important task. Hence, the word is used in the Holy Quran by Hazrat Abraham alayhi salam and Hazrat Jacob alayhi salam to tell their children that Allah the Exalted had chosen an extraordinary religion for them. It reads, يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O my sons, truly Allah has chosen this religion for you, so let not death overtake you except when you are in a state of submission. Furthermore, the Holy Quran has used this word while describing the superiority of the progeny of Abraham, early Ibrahim, and the progeny of Imran, early Imran, over the peoples of that era. It states, إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين. Allah did choose Adam and Noah and the family of Abraham and the family of Imran above all peoples. Similarly, it is mentioned in the hadith that the Holy Prophet ﷺ was asked as to which dhikr was most liked by Allah the Exalted. He replied, ما اصطفاه الله لملائكته سبحان ربي وبحمده سبحان ربي وبحمده. The dhikr preferred by Allah for His angels is Subhana Rabbi wa bihamdihi Subhana Rabbi wa bihamdih. Holy is my Lord, and to Him belongs all praise. Holy is my Lord, and to Him belongs all praise. Thus, the word istifa means to choose, to prefer, and to select. That is to say, to bring someone closer because of their moral excellent qualities, or to accord them a station in one's vicinity on account of their good deeds. Although Hazrat Maryam was not a prophet of God, Allah the Exalted had endowed her with such excellent qualities that upon seeing these very qualities, Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam, a prophet of Allah, wished to have children like her. Thus, thanks to the prayer of Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam, Allah the Exalted blessed him with a son in the form of Hazrat Yahya alayhi salam, who was also a prophet. Owing to the Israelites' constant disobedience to God's prophets and their mockery and denial of them, Allah the Exalted granted Hazrat Maryam a son in the personage of Hazrat Jesus alayhi salam, who was a prophet, but none of the men from among the children of Israel had any part in the birth of that son. Following that, the great blessing of prophethood was taken away from the children of Israel forever. Thus, it is due to her extraordinary qualities that Allah the Exalted used the word istafaki, He has chosen you, for Hazrat Maryam in the Holy Quran.
And for our third letter, Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, was asked about the status of ahadith reported by Hazrat Aisha, assuming that a woman's testimony was worth half. Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, in a letter dated the 14th of January 2020, gave the following reply.
The assumption that a woman's testimony is worth half is incorrect. In the case that it becomes necessary to include a woman's testimony on matters that women usually do not deal with in their day-to-day lives, the Holy Quran guides that another woman should also be present with the female witness, since the matter would not be related to women. If the female witness forgets anything for some reason, the other woman may remind her. Otherwise, the testimony of only that one woman will be considered complete. Moreover, in matters particularly relating to women, the Holy Prophet ﷺ would even decide entire cases based on the testimony of a single woman. Hence, it is narrated in Sahih Bukhari that Hazrat Aqba bin Harith married a lady. Later on, some woman of ordinary standing came and said that she had breastfed both the spouses. The Holy Prophet ﷺ separated the couple, despite the husband denying being breastfed by that woman.
And for our final letter, Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz was asked regarding reciting durood and other kinds of zikr. Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, in a letter dated the 25th of December 2019, gave the following answer.
This is also the way to infuse passion in our recitation of durood, namely to recite it abundantly with love and devotion. Just as we take an interest in the rest of our affairs and pay attention to them, if we create the same love and interest in these good deeds, then our objectives will certainly be achieved, insha'Allah. The frequent recitation of durood is certainly a very blessed deed. As it is stated in the hadith, the supplication of a person can only reach Allah the Exalted by invoking blessings upon the Holy Prophet ﷺ. However, if reciting the durood alone had been enough for everyone and could absolve one of the rest of the supplications, then why would the Holy Prophet ﷺ himself recite supplications other than durood on different occasions? And why would he teach various kinds of supplications to the companions? Hence, there are many such supplications mentioned in the hadith which the Holy Prophet ﷺ used to recite and also taught them to the companions. This is also the practice that we observe in the blessed life of his ardent devotee, the promised Messiah ﷺ. Nevertheless, in light of the saying of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, actions depend on motives, if someone was to make durood the total sum of all their supplications and confine them to that alone, with the intention and the optimistic outlook that the durood would become a means of receiving the blessings of Allah the Exalted, then Allah will also treat such a person according to that intention and optimistic outlook, as Allah the Exalted has stated in a Hadith Qudsi that أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي, I treat my servant according to his perception and expectation of me. Various duroods have been mentioned in the Hadith. Scholars of the Ummah have also used various kinds of durood and given them different names. Some of those duroods are lengthy, while others are shorter. The durood that brings more blessings and is more blessed is surely that which was uttered by the blessed tongue of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and one that he taught to his companions. The essence of these matters is a person's intention, love and attention to how he wishes to absorb the love of Allah the Exalted. Therefore, depending on the intention, love and devotion with which he will carry out these things, his intention and sincerity will surely reach Allah the Exalted.
And that concludes another episode of Beacon of Guidance. Join us again next time to hear more questions and answers with our beloved Hazur. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.